What's up guys, it's Chris from Galatover24 and we're back again with another video. But today we're doing something a little bit different. As you guys can see, we have the 370Z in the back. You guys might be saying, well, why you guys have the 370Z up on the cribs? Well, let me tell you guys, me and Pro Builds, we're having a little friendly competition. We're going to be doing the 370Z versus the Turbo Miata on the track, guys. That's right guys, on the track. And let me tell you guys, I think honestly the Turbo Miata is gonna win. I think the Turbo Miata is gonna win on the track, and let me show you why. It is 50-50 weight distribution. It is so light. It has a turbo T3 T4, not a T28, not a T3, a T3 T4. What the T3 T4 is, it is a hybrid turbo, so it pretty much spools a lot faster than any other turbo, and that turbo is literally best for 4-cylinder engines. So the Miata is lighter. It has a turbo, it's smaller, it's more nimble, it's just better guys. I think the Miata is gonna win. But let me ask this guy. You think the Turbo Miata build's gonna win?
Yeah, I do, because this thing, look how heavy it is, look at how bulky it is. The Miata's just so light and nimble, it's able to handle the corners way easier, and it'll just smoke this thing.
You might say it's heavier, but honestly, it reminds me really like a GT3. It looks like a GT3 as far as this part, and it's about the same size.
Yeah,
so.
But on a short course track with no straights, if you're doing an autocross event,
yeah,
this will not be able to keep up, because the Miata, you know what I mean? It doesn't have as much power on the straights,
right?
But it has more than enough power to get out of the corners with the turbo, and it'll be able to just take this very easily.
So you hear that, guys? 2 people are voting for the Miata. And of course, it's just Pro Builds on the 370. I don't know. He might have it in the bag. He might get it, but the odds are in my favor. What does it take for the 370Z to beat the Miata on the track?
I would say increased body rigidity, some sway bars, weight reduction. Maybe it depends on the speed of the track, but maybe some more aero. But that might not do much, for an autocross, because you're not reaching 50-60 miles per hour regularly. That's about it. Tires, it might be able to just keep up at that level, but right. Honestly, let's say you did all that to the Miata, then the Miata's gonna be taking this completely.
Dude, literally, I think out of any corner, it's gonna fly.
Yeah, and now the Miata before didn't have the power, so if you're coming out of the corner, you couldn't accelerate enough. You have more than enough power, so you could accelerate out of any corner,
right,
easily.
All right, so this is the guy himself. Do you really think you have a chance against a Turbo Miata?
So, since I know better, and I do know a lot better than what you guys think, I know that the 370Z will have a hard time in the autocross. It will. It is heavier. It's going to take a lot more energy to stop the vehicle. It's going to take a lot more energy to accelerate the vehicle. So, what I'm going to try to do is everything is possible right now that I can to physically get it ready for the autocross. Now, I know I could tune some things in the suspension, and I could dial some things in to help out with the handling when it comes to the autocross, but it's going to be very tough. I would have to shed a lot of weight to be able to be as nimble as the Miata. Not only the Miata is lighter, it's also the wheelbase is a lot shorter, so technically it would take a lot less effort to go around the corner. And the 370Z it's got the power, but the weight is a big factor. We're talking about 1,000 pounds more, in weight. That's a significant amount. So you have to use a lot more energy to accelerate, a lot more energy to stop, and a lot more energy that goes into the body roll. So I think the Miata has the advantage. But where I would say I would have the advantage in the 370Z is the fact that I'm still NA, and I'm making all that power NA. Where the Miata, I think it would have some turbo lag into some of the corners, into a more tight corner. It would take some time and effort for that turbo to spool up to be able to pull out, where an NA vehicle just naturally has that power and is able to pull right away. That's where I think I might have the power and I might have the advantage if there's some technical corners. You see, it's going to be complicated. It's going to be an excellent race, because where I could accelerate out of the corner, the Miata could stop quicker take probably more speed into the corner versus my vehicle would take less speed into the corner and be able to pull away easier. So it's going to be a tight race, I think. I think at the end, it's going to be all depending on driver ability, you know, depending how the course is. So it's going to be very interesting. I have about an extra 100 horsepower over the Miata right now, but I have 1,000 pounds more. So we'll see. Tune in to find out what the heck happens.
On this, it'll lean back and all the weight will come back here. And if you're coming out of the corner and you try to just brake super hard and then you freaking accelerate as hard as you can, you're coming out of the corner and all the weight goes to the rear.
Yeah.
That could cause you to just spin out.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? And we're forgetting one of the biggest factors here is the Miata. Even with the turbo that we added a turbo right now, the Miata, it's almost 50-50 weight distribution. It's basically 50-50. Where this, we're having a 60-40. So there's a difference. Balance is key. I know everyone wants to lower the cars and just slam them into the ground. If you're wanting to do performance and you're wanting to improve the overall performance of the vehicle, I mean, you have to take all these things into consideration. When I was younger, a lot younger, in my 20s, okay, everyone was conscientious of having a balance. Everybody was thinking about stopping better, handling better. We used to take care of the cars differently than everybody does now. Everyone now wants to shoot flames out the back, and they think that that's the shit. But really, you're destroying everything when you're doing that. So, the key factor here I want you to take away from this is balance, and the Miata has it. The 370Z, I have to tune that, and that's why these are tuners. We're gonna tune that. So let me show you what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to correct right now to be able to just take it to the autocross, because we have a big problem in our hands. So here we have our BC coilovers, and these are just standard BC coilovers. These are just the basic ones just to get things going. Now you could get some with a higher spring rate, which will help you handle better. Now this is just a basic package. So when you add one of these, of course, majority of the time people are getting these so they could lower the car and it could look better. And of course, when you lower the center of gravity, it does handle better, but you have to tune it properly. If you go too low, the car will handle improperly. It'll have more body roll than what it's supposed to. So you could actually hurt your car by going too low. And not to mention is the suspension travel. It won't be able to have the proper suspension travel. It will bottom out in the bottom, and the shock itself will become like a solid piece of metal, and that tire, instead of it being able to rebound when you go into a bump, it's just going to be stiff and it's going to make you skid. So you'll end up having some understeer and the car will feel erratic. You won't like it, and it might look cool, but you won't like how it handles. It won't handle it very good. So we have to fix something in these coilovers. It looks like everything's good in these coilovers, but the owner, before, the guy that I bought this from, did something really weird here.
Bro, what?
Yeah. So I don't know what the heck happened. We just discovered this. This car, when I purchased it, I did a full inspection and I checked the hub bearings. I checked everything. I made sure that the car was safe to drive. But we always have noticed that there was suspension noise coming from the front end. So I was thinking maybe there's a bushing, maybe there's something, and I continued to investigate as we drove it, you know? Just recently, I was looking in the top of the engine bay because I haven't done anything really to it, you know, everything is still pretty much stock. I noticed that this part of the top mount, the top hat, looked interesting here. So it looks like the owner decided to grind this off for some reason or do a mismatch. What I'm guessing is somebody was trying to tune caster. That's what I'm guessing, because it's grinded off in each corner and it looks like the caster, they were trying to adjust it. Now, this is a way that you would not want to do that. You would just want to buy the top mount and it'll come with slotted bolts, so you're able to adjust caster. They sell this.
I've seen them, and they're not even expensive to be able to adjust the caster.
Yes.
I seen it, and it just adds. It's like an attachment that goes on there.
That's right. So that's my wild guess. I don't know. I can't get a hold of him. I purchased this car about 1.5 years ago. So I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe this is something that got damaged, but I doubt it because the other side looks identical. It looks exactly the same. So it leads me to believe that this was a purposeful modification. That's really dumb, actually. So I discovered, since this was grinded, I could stick a pry bar in here and I could move it. So it would change the geometry of the suspension when it was traveling. So it would move back and forth, and sometimes we would feel the steering wheel wander, and it will have this odd feeling every time you get on the car, you take a corner, the car out of the blue would decide to turn left, turn right. It was weird, and this is what's causing it. Look at that, guys.
Man's got the freaking wobble. Oh my god.
Wawa keys, bitch!
He's got the Wawa keys. If you guys don't know, let me put in a clip right here. Wawa key.
あら、あんた上履きのこと聞いてないの？上履き、上履き、上履き、上履き、上履き。上履き。
So yeah, guys, I really truly think that it's going to be a close competition. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started on what we were doing today.
Look at that! This was loose. Bro, these guys suck. Look at that. This is supposed to be tight against this.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Guys.
Some people shouldn't touch any cars.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it. Just hand over the keys to us. We'll take care of the car.
What do you see? What do you see? They don't look right.
No.
Look how this one's higher than this one.
Yeah.
This one's missing a bushing. This one has the bushing. What the f? You end up, look
Look at that.
you have a different ride height and everything.
Look at that.
What the f?
Oh.
Damn.
Bro, what?
Some people just don't touch them. Don't touch them. Don't touch the cars, bro. If you don't know what you're doing, don't touch it.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I'm not surprised. Because it seems like every car that either I've owned, we've owned, we always find literally little things here and there, and then there's always one big major thing that's like, what? You own this car, you're driving like this, and then you sold it to us like this? What? Some people just, I don't know if they just don't know any better. They're just lazy or what? I don't
Poor
know.
guy. Imagine what the guy who you sold the BMW to is saying.
Oh my god. Hey, bro. Hey, you have to do me like that, bro. Dude, I will say this. I remember,
Excuse me.
Pro Builds had a white 97 Integra, guys. And I will say this. There was some coins in the back seat, and I remember, I don't know what went through my head, but I just decided to literally grab the coins and put it inside the little speaker area.
What?
Did you actually?
Dude.
What did you do?
I used to, I don't know why. I think I put like a matter of like 10 like pennies or whatever inside the speaker area.
Bro, I got it. You were trying to listen to 50 Cent. Is wrong. The ride height is completely off, but then check the preload, and that is the amount of pressure of the spring that's compressing up against the top mount. Hold on, let me turn this on. It would help if it was on. Let me zero it in. So we're gonna see. Guys, it's not off by that much. It's off by, I would say, I'm gonna zero it in here and then go back to this and then bring it back down.
to where it's supposed to be. So it's off by 2 millimeters, 2.56 millimeters. That's not that much. That's not critical. So it's off by just a little hair. So the preload was pretty dead on. So, but the ride height is completely off. Out back, and I'm gonna wash them up and then take everything apart and try to start fresh. We're gonna try to start fresh from the beginning after I take all these apart and clean them up. Sorry.
There you go.
I didn't get your camera right.
No.
Not good. It's not good.
Are they seized like the Miata?
It might be seized. It's not good. It's not looking good, guys. How much preload did they put? A lot.
That's super tight.
Wow. There was a lot of preload. Look at that. That's nuts.
Is it for air suspension?
Alright guys, so now we have a beautiful working coilover. Once again, you can see the top mount. It doesn't look like this hot mess. And everything is working again, and we could install it in the vehicle. But before we do that, we have to do it to, we're gonna do the same thing to the other one, and then we're gonna set the right height here on the bench so we can know everything is even. So when we put it in the vehicle, everything is set perfect.
Alright guys, we got both coilovers adjusted, preloaded, set right. Everything should be good to go. I think Pro Builds is actually getting started right now. Yes, he is. Need me to line it up there?